right, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining in. As you all know, today's the big day. Super Bowl 59 is upon us. I don't have any notes in front of me. Like sometimes I have a website up so I can read off things or, kind of go into that kind of detail. But I'm not going to do that for this. I really just want to make a quick video, talk a little bit about the game and what I think is going to happen. And that's pretty much it. So, today, Super Bowl 59 happens, I think around 6 o'clock, 6:15. There's already pre-game shows on, which I am not going to watch, because if I do that, by the time the game comes, I'm going to be less interested than I already am in it, and I don't want that to happen. So, we have the Chiefs, obviously, against the Philadelphia Eagles. And for some reason, the Chiefs seem to be a 1.5-point favorite. I think it was 1 or 1.5 points yesterday. I can't remember what exactly it was, or somewhere around there. Which I don't understand, to be honest with you, because they really were, to be quite honest with you, they were just a mediocre team this year. I mean, they eked their way through at least 5 or 6 games that could have gone the other way. They could have lost. Some of them they just won. Some of them they just won at the end. Some were very questionable, as usual, with calls and the plays to keep their drives going. They kick a field goal, win the game. So they had a lot of that this year. This team could have easily lost 6 or 7 games, very easily. The Eagles, on the other hand, the Eagles, to me, I've always thought the NFC is a little bit weaker. I think the AFC has stronger teams. Not that the NFC is bad. I don't mean to say that, but I've always especially this year, I've always thought that the NFC was a little bit weaker teams. But the Eagles had a great season. They're a great team defensively. I don't think they're an offensive powerhouse. But Saquon Barkley is just a beast, and I believe I'm happy for Josh Allen. Believe me, I am. I'm glad he got the MVP this year. I still was the whole half the season I was saying that Saquon should get the MVP. He's the reason why the Eagles are in the Super Bowl this year, not Jalen Hurts, not anything else. Saquon Barkley is the reason this team's in the Super Bowl. Without him, I don't think they're anywhere near the Super Bowl. So I really do believe he should have got the MVP. He didn't. And a quarterback gets it all the time. So that's just how the NFL is. This is how it works. So today's game, here's what I want to see happen today. I don't want to see any kind of bullshit calls. I don't want to, and I mean this for both teams. I'm not a fan of either team. I want to make that perfectly clear. I don't give a damn about either one of these teams. I'm not a fan of the Eagles, and I'm certainly not a fan of the Chiefs. I just don't want to see Taylor Swift up in her fancy box with her $10,000 sweatshirt. I don't want to see I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes commercials during the commercial time during the game that I'm watching Patrick Mahomes in, because I can't stand that. It looks to me like this is just going to be one-sided, and I don't want to see that. I'm having trouble. I'm really in an inner argument with myself right now, trying to convince myself that the NFL is still legitimate. I lean 60-40, then it's not, because the facts of the games, the playoff games, the statistics I've seen people put on the internet where the referees favor the Chiefs. I don't want to see that today. Play the game down the middle. And I said this in my last video, and I'll say it in 100 videos. I don't want to hear a sports guy come on the news or on ESPN or NFL, whatever they call their network there, and say, of course Patrick Mahomes of course he gets the calls. Michael Jordan got the calls. LeBron James gets calls. I don't want to hear that shit. To me, that makes the fucking game unfair. When you're an official, you got to call the game, start right down the middle. Whether it's Patrick Mahomes or Zach Wilson, I don't care who it is. You can't favor a player, because that automatically, by definition, means that you're favoring that team. You're tipping the scale, and I don't want to see that. Call it down the middle. That's what a referee. I don't care if you're umpiring a baseball game. I don't care if you're an NFL official. I don't care if you're a referee in hockey. You got to call, when you're in that position, you got to call the play down the middle, the game down the middle, because if you don't, it's unfair. And it changes the outcome of the game. It's plain and simple. So all I'm hoping for today, and I'll be quite honest with you, I am going to start watching the game. But if I can see that scale being tipped toward the Chiefs, and I mean toward the Eagles too, if I see the NFL is overcompensating, because this NFL rig thing is a lot more than just you and me and a couple of our friends drinking beer on the sofa it is all over the place. Everybody is talking about the unfairness that the referees show the Chiefs. So everybody's not wrong and you're right. There's something really wrong here. Or at the very minimum, it looks like something's wrong and it's killing the integrity of the game. So call the game down the middle. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes or who the hell it is. You, as an official in a professional sport, it is imperative that you call the game down the middle. You can't say at the end of the day to the losing team, well, he's Patrick Mahomes, so I had to give him the call, man. You know, he is who he is. You can't do that. It makes the game, this is where all the conspiracy theories and all this other crap they want to call comes from. And I don't want to see Roger Goodell get into a presser and tell everybody, listen, our officials are better than they've ever been. This whole NFL rig thing is ridiculous because nobody believes you, man. When you say that, nobody believes you. Look at the stats. I don't know how you can believe it yourself. I understand he's got to say that. What's he going to say? Of course it's rigged. Of course we favor the Chiefs. Why? What are you kidding me? Don't you see all the commercials that Patrick Mahomes is in? No, he can't say. Of course he's going to say that. Just use your own mind. Use your own eyes. Watch the game and see something's wrong here. They got to correct this. And I mean this when I say they absolutely have to correct this because the integrity of this sport is going down the shitter quick. As far as, especially with a guy like me, I've been watching football my whole life. And in the past 3-4 years, I've never seen it this bad before. And it's almost blatantly bad. So all I can ask for today is call a good game, call the game down the middle. It's up to the fans to be the ones that Chief fans are going to say, oh, they don't favor us. Eagle fans are going to say, yeah, they do. They don't favor us. That's the fans' job. Your fucking job as an official, a referee, an umpire, I don't care what you're doing, is to call the game down the middle. There is no such thing as, I got to give him the call. You know, he does make all the commercials because the game becomes unfair then. And that's where all this shit comes from. So please, let's just hope that the game is called down the middle. If the Chiefs win, good. If the Eagles win, good. I don't want to, at the end of the day, go, did you see that goddamn call at the end of the game? The Chiefs won the Super Bowl again. Because it's going to fuel this thing even more than you're already doing. It is important. It means everything to the league, to the sport, that you call it down the middle. If Patrick Mahomes gets roughed, call the penalty. If somebody sneezes on him, don't call a penalty. While somebody sneezes on Jalen Hurts and he don't get a penalty. You can't do it that way because that's where all this shit comes from. So call a good game, call a fair game, call it down the middle, and you can bring back some of the integrity into this sport that you are quickly losing amongst all the fans. There's a lot of people probably not going to watch the Super Bowl today. And I'll be quite honest with you, if I didn't make these videos, I wouldn't watch it today. I really, truly mean that when I say it. I would not watch the game today if it wasn't for I can't report on the game if I don't watch it. So I can't make a video about the game if I don't at least watch it. But I will tell you this, though. If it starts to tilt one way or the other, for either team, I will stop watching the game and I'd rather do something else. I'd rather go out in the garage and dust off my motorcycle. I'd rather do anything. I am not going to sit there and watch them coddle this team so they can get their 3-peat, so I can see Taylor Swift up in the press box all day, so they can run around calling Patrick Mahomes the GOAT and the Chiefs are the best, because they're not. Chiefs are not the best team. They're never going to be the Patriots level. Patrick Mahomes, I got news for you, bro. You will never, ever be at Tom Brady's level. I don't care how much the NFL pushes you. I don't care how much they shove you up our ass. You are not Tom Brady, never will be. So get that out of your mind. You've been coddled. You've been favored. You've been pushed all the way to where you are now. And I do believe that. I'm not saying he's not good. He is good. He didn't have a very good season this year. But all I'm saying is you ain't Tom Brady, bro. So get that right out of your mind. Chiefs, you ain't the Patriots. I'm not a Patriots fan. I can't stand them, but you ain't it. So call a fair game, call a good game. Let's at least enjoy the Super Bowl. So tomorrow morning, we're not watching 1,000 videos on YouTube going, boy, that shit was rigged. That shit was favored. That shit wasn't fair. I don't want to see that shit, man. Call it down the middle. That's your fucking job as an official. It doesn't matter who makes how many commercials. Call it down the middle. Let's have a good game and let's just hope for the best. Anyway, you guys have a great day. If you enjoyed my video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the game today. I hope it's a good one. I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye now.